Okay, let's talk about hyphenation. Hyphenation, the splitting of some words. We will make better settings for hyphenation. So it's in the paragraph panel. You still have the text box selected. You go in the paragraph panel in the menu to hyphenation. So, if you deselect the hyphenate box with the preview box checked, if you deselect the hyphenate box, you don't have any more word splitting. But it makes the job more difficult for design to make a good justification of the text. So there must be hyphenation. It's not a bad thing. Look at what happens to this line here. Not looking good with no hyphenation. When I hyphenate, it's looking better. Okay. You will uncheck all of these options here at the bottom, because you don't want the name of the people or city or to be hyphenated. You don't want to hyphenate the rest word of the paragraph. You don't want to hyphenate a word which is at the bottom of one column. So uncheck all of these three options. That's a good thing to do. And the hyphen limit, you will set it to 1, because you don't want two lines, one after the other, which hyphenates both. So by setting the hyphen limit to 1, you will never have two lines with hyphenation, two lines, one after the other, which is very bad. If you want, you may increase the number of letters after and before hyphenation. So only the words with at least 8 letters will be hyphenated. And at the end of the line, there will be at least 4 letters. And at the beginning of the next line, there will be at least 4 letters too. Or you may put 3 and 3, it's okay also. That's the way I suggest you should set your hyphenation in your documents. The nice thing about it's that you don't have to set these things for each document you're making, of course. Once we will have finished with it, we will make a style which you will be able to use in other documents. Import the style. Okay? So you don't have to go through that process each time you create a new InDesign document, of course. Styles are usable across documents. Okay, you save your document. Next thing we'll do, we'll use the title. We will give it the same color as the background of the body text. So you'll learn about what is global color in InDesign. It is really useful. Then we'll put some numbering on the pages. We'll use master pages. We'll link some text frames, one with the other, for the text to run from one frame to the other automatically. And at the end of the day, you'll be able to make nice looking InDesign documents in just 6 hours with one teacher which speaks broken English, which is quite incredible to achieve that success. Okay, so now the most important part of the day, it is the break. 10 minutes break. Okay, so you select the text box, and there is still one more thing which can enhance the look of the text in the character panel. We have set the size of the character, the spacing between the lines. By the way, at first, when we came here in the character panel, there was brackets here. There's no more bracket because we are not at 120%. We've chosen to put 18. That's why. Okay, so you have the spacing of the letters globally, not between each couple of letters in the text, but globally. Test it and look at what it does on the text. Maybe by decreasing or increasing the value of the space between letters, it will produce a better looking text. It's yours to see. Okay, you may choose any value you want, not the one that I've set here on my document. So obviously, the text from Wikipedia still have some foot reference, which are not relevant anymore. So you may manually delete them. Don't go through the process now. I'm just telling you that these foot references they must be deleted. So it is possible to delete them automatically within InDesign. But there are not many, so you delete them manually later, no problem. Okay. So put the picture on the right side now. Unlock the pictures layer and move the picture on the right side. Because I will put here on the left side that word. I will rotate it counterclockwise 90 degrees. We will do that. Okay? So, after you've put the picture on the right, you select the text, the title, and with the free transform tool, you have the rotate function when you put the free transform tool outside of the box. You drag and drop with the shift key. It constrains the rotation vertically 45 degrees or horizontally. Okay, I want vertical, so that's it. You release the mouse button, then you release the shift key. Okay, of course you have the shortcuts here to do the same. But it's interesting to see that you can do it manually with the shift key to constrain the rotation. Okay. With the black arrow, you increase the size of the text box, like that. And we'll see how to put the text just in the center of the box. We will center the text horizontally, then vertically. Okay, paragraphs panel. With the text box selected, you choose to center horizontally from the text box point of view, of course. Of course, the text moved vertically, but it's horizontal centering here. Then we will put the text just in the center of the box. Control B is the text frame options, and here you have the vertical justification, and you choose center, and that's it. You have the center, the text right in the center of the box, which is not useful if the box is transparent. There's no need to do that, but we will put a color in the background of the box. Okay, so window color swatches. My text box is selected, and the color swatch, which is on the front, is the one which deals with the background. I will choose the color that I've made earlier this morning. I'll put the same background on the text box here, the body text box, same background. Okay, I come back on the title box, and I will tell that the text must be white. So one way to do it is to select the box, and by clicking on the little letter here, the T, I'm telling InDesign that the color that I will be choosing now is for the text, not the box. Okay, and you choose paper for the text, and you have a white text in a colored box. Okay. Be sure to be in normal mode, so you are able to see the items which are outside of the page. It's important, not preview. You display the document in normal mode. With the black arrow, you make the box go a little bit outside of the page. Okay? And that's a nice trick to make nice documents in InDesign. If your output system, print, tablet, or anything is able to show pictures and backgrounds to the edge of the page, do it. That gives a professional look at your documents. Of course, if you're outputting on the inkjet printer, you will not be able to print to the edge of the page. But if it's a professional printer, offset, or tablet, or anything, you are able to put the pictures to the edge of the page. So you do it, and it will be very good for the professional looking of the document. Okay, so you preview the document with the right button, and you see that you have the title which goes to the edge of the page. Okay. Any question? So we used a color which is in the swatch panel. You will deselect everything on the document by clicking outside of the page. So nothing is selected on the document. All of the colors which are in the swatch panel are linked to the objects. So if I modify the color here, it will modify the color on the objects. So just do it. After clicking outside the page, nothing is selected. You double click on the color, and you have the preview checkbox. Check the preview checkbox, change the color, and that way you will be able to change the way all of your documents look, even if you have tens of pages. On all the pages on which this color is used, it will change. So you may choose at first to make your document mostly blue, and then the guy you're working for comes and says, no, it must be pink. No problem. You only change one color in the swatch panel, all of the document turns from blue to pink. It's also interesting to make several versions of your document and choose which one is the best. Okay, so make a color quite dark, not light, like that. So it's good for the title, that background, but not very good for the black text here. So you choose the body box here, and you will use the tint here, the tint setting, to use that color, okay, but not that much. You will light it by putting, for example, at 30% that color. So it's the same color, but not the same intensity. When you double click on the color in the swatch panel, you're still able to choose, to change the color, no problem. Okay. Okay, still on the body text frame, I will tell InDesign that I want to modify the text color. So here we have black. If your document is to be seen on a tablet, you must. It's better to tell that the black is not really black. It will be 90% black, so it's a dark gray. It will be smoother on the tablet. There is too much contrast on the tablet, so you must lower the contrast on the tablet in order to make the text easier to read by putting the black to 90% when it's a document for a tablet, a smartphone, or even a computer monitor. Okay, should you do that for print? Absolutely not. If your document is for print, you leave the black at 100%, and the black ink, low-cost black ink used for offset printing is dark gray, it is not black. So by leaving the black at 100%, you will anyway get not really black letters on the paper, but dark gray, and it's easier to read. Okay, you understand?
Yes.
Black ink for basic printing, it is cheap ink, so it's not really black. It's more likely dark gray. So by telling you want it at 100%, you have 100% dark gray ink. Okay, so we'll put the numbering now on the pages. So I'll go for the first time to the pages panel, window pages. So here you should have only one page, because at the beginning you unchecked the facing pages option when we first made the document. In the panel, the new document panel, we unchecked facing pages, so we don't have facing pages. Is anyone here in the room have facing pages? No? If it were the case, you should have converted the document from facing pages, printed both sides of each page, to only one side pages by going to File, Document Setup, and unchecking facing pages, which will leave you with double pages master, and then you have to select both pages by shift click, and go to options and tell there is only one page. Okay, so no one here obviously made the mistake, so I don't go through the process. I just told you how to solve the problem. If you have a facing pages document and you want only one-sided document, File, Document Setup, and then selecting shift click both pages of the master and going to the options, telling there is only one page on the master. Okay, so what is a master? It is a page which will contain elements which will be put on every page of the document which use the master. Before going to modify the master, I will add some pages to the document. So in the pages menu, you go to Insert Pages, and we will add 7 pages after page 1. Okay. So 7 pages were added, so we have a 8-page document all of the pages are using the A master. That's why you have a little letter A on the pages. It means if I put anything in the master pages, it will be reproduced on each of the pages of the document. Okay, we do it. Everything okay for having an 8-page document, no problem? Okay, now we double click on the icon of the A master. You should have on the left, lower left of the window, the A master here. InDesign tells you that you are looking at the A master, okay? If you have simply clicked once on the page, you are not on the A master. You must double click in order to be modifying the A master. That's a usual mistake, not double clicking and not going really to the A master, still being on one of the pages of the document. But okay, we are on the A master. So you put anything you want. You may create a rectangle of any color. I will remove the stroke by putting the stroke color on the front here in the tool panel and clicking on the red line here, removing the color of the stroke, no stroke. Okay, you've put an element in the A master, and this element is now seen on every page of the document, as you can see. This is a useful trick, the masters, to make nice documents faster, of course. Okay, just look at the first page of the document, and you'll see that all of the elements which comes from the A master always goes on behind, on the background of the page. The real elements which are really on this first page comes in front. But maybe not. It depends. Let's see the layers panel. That part becomes a little bit tricky. On the first page, the text here is on the layer text, the text layer, okay? The title, 2. You see, when you select with the black arrow, you select the element on the page, you see the square here, which indicates that the object is on this layer, okay? Okay, go back to the A master, double click, select the rectangle you've made. It is on the text layer. That's why, when you look at the first page of the document, all which comes from the A master goes in the background, and then the elements which are really on the page goes on top, in front. Okay, I go back in the A master, and I will select the rectangle and transfer it to the picture layer, which is obviously above the text layer. And what happens now, when you go back on the page, you see that pink rectangle being on the pictures layer in my master, it cannot go behind the text which is on the lower layer. Okay? So layers are important when you are using the masters. It overrides the rule that everything that comes from the master goes behind. If the element is on the top layer, it goes on top of the elements which are on the layers below. Okay. You double click on the A master layer, you remove that rectangle, selecting it, and hitting the delete key on the keyboard, you have removed that rectangle on the master. We will lock the text layer. We will work on the picture layer. No, we will make a new layer. Okay, click on the little book here. Name it numbering. That third layer, you name it numbering. It must be on the top of everything. And in that layer, there will be only one thing, the numbering function of InDesign, the number of the pages. And only at one place in the master. Okay? So you must lock the picture layer too. Okay, you draw a little text frame with the text tool, like this. In the master, on the numbering layer. And you will put a special marker in that text box. So you right-click, insert special character, markers, current page number. Right-click, insert special character, markers, current page number. And this is what you see now, the letter A. Don't type the letter A on the keyboard. It's not the same. You must insert the special character. It will not do the same result if you just type the A letter on the keyboard, of course. Okay. So, put it in the center of the frame. We've done it just a little bit earlier, so with the paragraph panel, I'm putting it horizontally that way. Then with the Ctrl-B shortcut, I'm putting it in the center with align center. Okay. And here it is. Okay. I will make the box square. So by selecting the box with the black arrow, I go in there on the top in the option panel, and I'll type something like 40 and then 40. Okay, it is square. I will increase the size of the letter inside. So with the character panel, you may use the shift key when you're clicking on the little arrow here, so it goes faster, 10 to 10. Okay, with the shift key. Okay. So let's have a look on the pages. Double click on any pages and you should see that it is not a letter. In fact, it is a numbering page marker we've just put in the master, and it works. On each page, it shows the number of the page. Okay, when you've seen that it works, go back to the master. We've not finished with the looking of our numbering. It's a good idea to save the document with a different name at this time. Okay, select the text frame with the black arrow. Okay, at this moment you must think, maybe you will think, that you should have been using a circle instead of a rectangle because it is prettier. Fortunately, it is possible to convert a shape to another. That's what we will do. So by selecting the text frame with the black arrow, you go then to Object, Convert Shape, Ellipse. Object, Convert Shape, Ellipse. And you have a perfect circle because we've set the width and height to the same value earlier. Okay. So that doesn't serve any purpose if you don't put a background. If it's transparent, a circle or a square is the same, but not now. If I put on the background of that circle, I put a color, it will be useful to have a circle. Okay, so you select the circle with the black arrow, you put the color swatch of the background in front, and you choose a color or create a color. New color swatch. Any color. You may start with any ugly color and change it afterwards. It's a nice tip to put the letters of the titles in white. So now, with the box selected, I tell that I will be choosing the color of the text, and I choose paper. Okay. So it really is one color only. Maybe better looking than just a black text on a colored circle. So every document that I'm saving here, you will get them after in a few days with the recordings, with the videos. So if you want to go through the documents, if it helps, you will have all of the documents that I'm saving. And in the videos, you see when I'm saving it and which name I give to them. Okay, so here is how it looks like on the pages. Of course, there are still some work to do. I come back working on the A-master, double click. I will resize the circle, not the character inside, with the Shift key to keep it a circle, really. Okay, then I can resize the whole thing, the frame and the character inside, with the free transform tool, Shift key. Okay. And then you put it somewhere on the page, maybe on the lower right. And this is it. Of course, it is not very nice looking. We're just doing here a document to understand how InDesign works. Once you know how it works, you will have to do your own documents with nice looking aesthetics.